What's up, you stupid Godzilla nerds? It's Killer Kaiju here. I'm all hot and bothered off talking from some toxic kids on Rocket League. Because I'm so hot right now, I thought there'd be no better time than to talk about these two new figures I got. Some of the Playmates Godzilla X Kong stuff. Normally, I don't really like to buy the Playmates figures. I'm not a huge fan of them. Quite frankly, I think they're trash. That's not to say if you like these figures, I think you're trash. I don't. I've purchased two Playmates figures on two other occasions. That's the Gorosaurus and Rodan, respectively. I am a huge sucker for Godzilla 2000. It's one of my favorite designs. I have the most amount of Godzilla figures in that design, so perhaps I'm just a little bit eager, and I saw this and I really liked the way this just glimmered in the light, so that might have influenced my decision to buy these, but these don't look so bad, so I figured I gotta get the Kong to go along with it. Let's take a look. What, like this? That doesn't make sense. Starting with Godzilla here. His tail, wow, what a pain in the butt that was to get on this figure. We can see it was on a ball joint, so got some articulation there. Articulation at the legs. Kind of go back and forth like this, arms up and down. He's kind of in a, his legs are kind of in a weird pose. I don't know if that's like a defect up on mine. No, his feet can spin. Okay, I'm just a dum-dum. The head can kind of move a little bit. And obviously he's got this in here. There's like a hole up in there. It's weird where it'll like connect to. The jaw goes up and down. I really like how the translucent fins look on this figure. I'm a sucker for that in any kind of Godzilla figure. Any kind of translucent vinyl or rubber. This might be vinyl, I don't know. My favorite designs, one of my favorite Godzilla suit designs ever is Godzilla 2000, and this, this new design for Godzilla to me is just very reminiscent of that. What's disappointing for me about this figure is that we just get this inconsistent on the translucent material from here, here, and here. Like none of it, like I wish it was just, either one or the other. The contrast is just very visually jarring to me, and that's something I don't like. While as much as I find this visually appealing, this is not so much. The sides of his body have some kind of skin and scale detail etched in there. It's not super great, and it's kind of smooth here on the edges on both sides. The seam is super visible, and I'm not necessarily a big fan of that. Kind of looks weird, like there's just some like weirdness going on here. I don't know if that's how he's gonna look in the film or whatnot, but just he kind of looks bulked out there in the middle. That might just be me. That just might be some weirdness from the figure. Any of it's possible, really. Probably the derpiest thing for me about this figure would have to be his eyes. They look really goofy. They're not very good at all. They almost look like they might be a sticker, but it's really just like orange paint with a little black dot there. I really like the overall paint scheme and the way the kind of blue mixes with the pink. One thing that's kind of a bummer is whatever these are supposed to be didn't get painted. You can see in some promo material that they are supposed to be the same color as this, so that kind of stinks that they're not. It's nice to see ball joint action, being so used to the movie Monster series figures, but there's some claws there. As you can even see right here, it's kind of like rubbed off already. Just trying to put the tail on it was such a pain in the butt that there's been some damage to the figure right here. It's mostly like a hard, it's like a hard plastic, not like a vinyl, but the tail, the tip is kind of soft, obviously, so we can smash it into things. I saw this at Target for $10. It's crazy. I've seen them on Amazon and other places going for like $26.99. That's insane to me. If you're a collector who's got to have them all, I'd say, yeah, definitely grab it if you see it out and about, but this is certainly not a figure I'd be eager to add to my collection just based on with what I collect. I'm definitely holding out for some of the other releases we're gonna get later in the year.
All right, bing bong time. Right off the rip, I don't particularly care for all these visible joints here. I don't really like collecting figures that have a lot of those, as I mentioned earlier. I do, however, like the detail on his breast and the scars here. I think that looks really good. The face sculpt is really good. A lot of detail there. I really like his expression. That looks really good. The eyes look really menacing, but if we look really close here, you can see they're kind of off center. They look a little derpy. Here we got his Beast Thunder Glove. Detail on the back looks really good on his fur. Nice and chocolatey, so to say. His arms can move up and down and side to side. They're on a ball joint there. and they can go up and down, but we don't get as much action in the wrist there. The head can move left to right and can spin all the way around if you kind of force it. It's not super fluid.
We get some knee bending action and some foot bending action, so that's pretty neat.
This is the little ship he came with. It's just a little piece of plastic. It doesn't really do much at all. Neato, I guess.
You can throw it at Kong. You can smash it with Kong. Great. It doesn't really do anything. Comparing the two figures side by side like this, that's pretty decent scaling if you ask me.
Heading into my final thoughts here, both of these figures cost $9.99 respectively in a retail space. Online, you might encounter $25+ price tags, however. In terms of bang for your buck, both of these figures are fine, with my bias kind of skewing towards Kong. They're not the worst figures on the market, but their quality is certainly reflective of their price tag. Personally, I wouldn't go crazy on some of these Playmates releases unless you're an absolute fiend or you're not looking to break the bank. Some of the sloppy details and paint applications are what are my two biggest complaints with these figures, but with the Playmates, that's kind of to be expected. I am super curious to see what Bandai will do later in the year as the new GVK film releases. I'm certain they won't be perfect, but I am looking forward to the MMS releases of these figures. I'm going to go ahead and give these two figures a meh, no rush rating, or maybe even just okay. Either one of those works for me.